Hey all, boardgamerants here, where you'll find everything solo, tabletop gaming, and more. Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. Gonna do a little demo for you, as well as give you some info on some of the expansions. Let's have a look. So Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities comes with the, no, it doesn't come, you can get these expansions. The Origins, Rise of Rome. These I've only ever played solo, and this is my favorite one, The Lost Cities, the original. There's cool things offered with Rise of Rome, with Titans and whatnot, which is great. And there's cool stuff with Origins, kind of, you can play sort of the series of games, and you have to complete one to be able to move on to the next, and there's some cool little trials there. But Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities, really got it right for me in that, well, first of all, what's the game about? It is a gladiator battle in the Colosseum style game. Kind of a tactical game, and instead of miniatures running all over the board, you're going to have chips. And these chips, tell you what, they're just fun. They are more fun than miniatures for me by far, just because you're going to keep track of the health with these other chips, and that's what's going to be set on top of the health, and you're going to be moving these guys around like so, and then when they get blasted, boom, you just lose health, and you just set it off to the side, and eventually you're out of health, and you're dead. And you're going to have, in the solo game, waves of criminals and beasts, and then each wave, there's going to be 3 waves, if you will, is going to have a big boss bad guy, which could be, again, a criminal or a beast. Criminals move a certain way, beasts move a certain way. They have their little powers. And what's cool too is you can play against these, and it's just the same chips. There's 8 chips here representing the basic bad guys that you can be fighting in the arena, made up of 4 beasts and 4 criminals. And then you're going to have a slew, you're going to have 6 different bosses. And they are a combination of beasts and criminals. And each wave, and there's, again, 3 of them, you have to kill the boss. And you're going to have to go through typically a certain number of basic guys before you can get to the boss. Because the boss is going to start on one end of the Colosseum. We're going to start on the other end of the Colosseum. And then there's going to be a clash and some battling, as you might imagine. And I have picked Pompeii. Now, Pompeii is an expansion faction, and I don't know from where or what. Did it come with Origins or Rise of Rome? I don't know. There's tons of stuff, tons of expansion material for this game. So, and I have it all, and a lot of it, especially the factions, can be used with. You can mix and match all these things together, and have factions floating around in the different expansions and games and whatnot. But again, bringing it all back to the Lost Cities. The Lost Cities just has this simplicity, and it's really easy to relearn and just get right back into. And the pace is just perfect, and it just has kind of everything in a nutshell that I love about solo gaming. And all the others are great. All the other variations are cool, but they may add a little bit too much or a little too little or something that I don't like. And I always just kind of boil back right down to this beautiful little system here that I'm about to show you. And again, this isn't to show you how to play the game flawlessly. This is just a demo. And so now in wave 1, and again, there's 3 waves, and you got to survive. Your champion has to survive through all those waves. And in each of the waves, you have to take out the boss, and you're going to have to go through some basic guys to get there. But your champion is not going to be alone. You can set your champion anywhere on these darker areas to start, but your champion starts inactive. So your champion at the beginning of the battle is bored. It's over here yawning in a corner until, this is a very cool mechanic, the crowd favor. The crowd favor mechanic is certain things happen as you start killing things out there and or taking over the center stage. The crowd favor, you start gaining crowd favor, and as you go up, you'll hit this 1, and you'll unlock your champion and get a tactic that's going to help you out in as the fight continues. And then you go up, and then you unlock more stuff and more tactics, and you keep going up. You get all the way up to the top, and you get another gladiator, a very strong gladiator, to help you out in the battle. But that's if you reach that. But that mechanic is something you need to be considering throughout each wave and in trying to increase it, because one, your champion won't activate until you hit that, but the other thing that'll activate your champion is if somebody smashes them in the face. So, you know, you take a sword to the gut, and then your champion says, oh, okay, well, maybe I should start fighting now. So that's the other way your champion can activate, but just kind of sits here. And again, you do not want your champion to die. Has 10 health to start with, and you lose the game if your champion dies. So you're going to have the help of these. You just pick random 6 fighters here. I'll just do that, and you get 1 tactic for each wave to work with. And then you can take a look at this, and this kind of walks you through. So crowd favor, it's got a nice little, and this is all on this neoprene. This is all very chip theory-esque material stuff, like literally waterproof. You could play this underwater and everything would be just fine. But back to you know, that's kind of a unique board here, I guess, as I'm just pointing out. It's made of a mouse pad material. But you've got player aids printed right on here, so you know when to get your crowd favor. If you know, gladiator kill or a beast or criminal kill, and then your player phases. So we start the game, and it says to first check your crowd favor and make sure you're, you know, doing that. Draw phase, there is no draw phase when you're playing solo. You just get all 6 of your guys, which you can look at. So I'm going to flip this over. There's variations. I've seen people play this where they only get to look at 1 at a time, and there's all these fun things you can do. This game's been out for some years now. Anyway, and there's my tactic I get to possibly use here. And so unit and tactic deploy phase. So these are units. Oh, so is my champion, actually. And I could deploy one of these on one of these spots here on my side of the Coliseum. And then I could use 1 tactic if I wanted. And then I'll get to, well, you would normally get to move things, but the turn you deploy them, you don't get to move them. And then attack. You could attack if anybody was next to you, though. If you deployed somewhere and there was someone that was attackable, you could do it. But for instance, so right now, you know, you're concerned about your inactive champion not being able to defend themselves, really, or do anything. So I'm going to be deploying this fella out, and then this tactic here, I could read this. Maybe I want to use it. Hamstring units move right. Okay, that's something I'd probably want to use on my enemy, is to reduce their ability to move. So I'm going to be saving that. I don't want to hamstring myself. Let me get some health under these guys really quick. Well, it's not that hard. 10 for my champion, and there's the 10. So we just put that there, and then we've got 5. Deployed a defender. There's 5. What the defender does, and another cool thing that I love about these chips versus miniatures is the stuff's printed right on them, what they do. So you don't have to be like, you know, look at a figure and go, okay, wait, what is that figure, you know, what's all the powers, and look someplace else. I still have over here, for reference, and I'll be using it. These the back of a lot of these different rule books here has a cool reference for all the different innates and abilities and stuff. I even printed out a while ago a big old master skills reference list here, but it's kind of just still easier just to use these and flip through them so I can remember what does what. But everything's just printed on here, and after you get used to it, you just remember what everything kind of does, and man, it makes for a slick system. So I deployed, but on the turn that you deploy stuff, you don't get to move it unless it has a certain ability, like initiative, like this one. Initiative is an ability that would allow this particular unit to move as soon as it's deployed, but that's not the case here. Attack phase, nobody to attack. So it goes on to the arena phase, which is the bad guys. So first of all, deployment for them as well. And in the first wave, again, you're going to get 2 just random, normal bad guys, and then 1 boss bad guy. And so wow, 12 health out there for that. What do we got? Nagaraja, the King Python. So this is a beast boss, and down there it's showing that I'm gonna have to roll the dice to see what kind of attack it does each time. Mass constrict. That doesn't sound good. I'll kind of look at that. But anyway, the bosses always start at that end of the Coliseum. And then there's always, these guys are always 4 health. That's just kind of their generic health stat there. And they though, deployed this turn, and so they don't get to move either. So the first round here is pretty simple. And they deploy, roll for a criminal assignment. So that is only when you're playing with more than one faction. When you're just one faction, they're just always going to come after you. You don't have to roll to see who they're going to come after. So we can always skip 2 here. Move phase, roll for all units, but we don't on the turn that they're deployed. And then attack phase, roll for each beast or criminal attack and boss attack special. So that was that one up there. So I actually have to roll because the attacks, they could always attack. They don't get to move, but let's see what we roll. It's a 5, and on a 1 to 5, it's a base attack, but it's base attack. It's got to be adjacent. Those little crossed swords mean, with that 1 means it can only attack 1 space away from it. But if it had rolled this 6, it would have done mass constrict. What is mass constrict? I doubt it would be good for us. Here it is. Now occupies a hex adjacent to the most opposing units, then 2 black dice attack. So you roll dice to attack here. Oh my gosh, the thing would jump all the way across the board at me. Holy smokes. So that you know, that would have gone, you know, I would have been able to pick here or here, but it would have to have been next to both, and then it would have rolled some dice to see if it did any damage. And these dice are all made up of, there's different colors here. This green one is unique to expansions. It's normally just these colors. And when you roll them, an H means a hit, and of course blank means nothing. And they're all this way, but there's just different odds. The yellows have the least H's, I believe. Yeah, there's 1, 2, and then 4 misses. And on the blacks, there's a lot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and 2. Oh, wait. Is there like 5 hits on that? Yep, 5 hits and 1 miss with these black die. And then the blue has its own thing. What was it? 1, 2. Looks like half and half there. And then green has 4 and 2 misses. So all these guys have different dice that they're going to be rolling, which determine how much damage they do. So that's easy to keep track of. We are done with essentially the setup, and now it's time to do a little fighting. All right, so again, back to player phase. We have to check to see if we get any crowd favor. There's nothing here going on yet. Everybody's, the crowd's quiet. Crowd's bored right now. We got nothing going on. The stage is set. But unit and attack deployment. So I can deploy, again, one of my units here. And I'm only going to get up to 6 this round. And because I don't get to draw more or anything. So I will probably put out, so this with first strike. Okay, so I lied when I said that, when you first deploy, they get to attack right away if someone's next to them. It's not the truth. That's only these bad guys that get to do that. Normal rules for us, we have to have this ability, first strike, in order to be able to actually attack. So I get to deploy my archer, boom, and I have to put him on one of these cool little red dotted spaces. Can't put him out there until I get enough crowd favor going. And then after you've deployed, move phase. So now this guy can move because he was deployed. He could move, and maybe I think I'm just going to leave him there though, because he's got this intercept blow ability, which means that anybody who does a basic attack on Geta here, this guy can soak up the damage, and I want to keep my champion alive. So I'm going to leave him there. I don't want to get any closer to these guys yet. But I am going to use my long shot alternate attack here, which says I get to roll. Because of first strike, I can take a shot, but my archer's range is only 2 spaces in. Blast it all. This animal is just a bit far away, so I can't roll my black and yellow die, but I can take a long shot with just a yellow die. And that I'm going to do. And now, it's up to 4. Long shot means anywhere up to 4. So I could either go after this champion or this kitty cat. Well, tell you what, this guy is always going to be just headed. These guys move very, champion bound is innate. So it's always going to be moving towards my champion. Whereas this guy, these cats just kind of roam around. And sometimes they end up locked in battle with you. But sometimes they just wander off too. So I'm going to go after this guy. This guy is potentially more of the threat. So I'm going to roll this. If I get an H, it's a hit. If I get nothing, it's not. I got an H. So, boom. 1 hit, just like that, on this criminal. Teach you for being a criminal. Now, that was my only attack. No one else is in range, so no one else can do anything. We go to the bad guy's turn. So deployment, no deployment needed, because in the first wave, there's going to only ever be 2 basic bad guys and 1 boss. But in the second wave, there's always going to be 3 basic bad guys and a boss. And in the third wave, there's going to be 4. So every time you kill one off, more are going to respawn. But in the first wave, there's only ever going to be 2. So no deployment, but now they get to move. So it says roll for criminal assignment. Already explained, we can ignore that. Move phase, roll for all units. So the way these guys move, there's really 2 ways. If it's an animal or a beast, it moves one way. If it's a criminal, it moves another. So, and I can pick, and it'll get to be a strategy here where I can decide who I want to try to move first. So right now, what I'd like to do is I want to have this cat have the most freedom to move. I have a feeling this one's going to kind of move towards my champion, and so I want this cat to kind of be able to go this way, away from me if possible. And the way you do that is you're going to roll these 2 dice. For beasts, this is how they move. You roll a white and a red. You're going to resolve the white first and then the red, and you're going to use this key to resolve it. And it's going to tell you based on, that red die represents where the beast is, and then you follow these numbers to determine which direction it moves. So I'll show you. We roll, simple. Oh, it's a 5 and a 5. Not good, because it goes towards 5 and then towards 5 again. So, jeez Louise. Wah, wah, backfired. So this guy just decided to make a beeline. He was like, this guy looks dead over here. Tasty. Champion, being inactive, we're in a bit of a pickle here, but I've got my defender here to soak up some damage. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. But, so that was a bit of a bust. This guy could have gone anywhere. But it went right for my champion. So now let's go here. Let's check out what this guy does. And so the criminals, they move in a certain way. You just have to roll one of the other die. And then on a 1, it's not going to move. On a 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to move 1 space. And on a 6, it's going to move 2 spaces towards the champ. So it's a roll. It's a 3. So it's going to move 1 space towards my champion. And I could go here, or I could go here, whatever. I'm going to go here, kind of keep more in range of my archer here. And so that's part of this game too, is you can affect and move the bad guys to your advantage. So that's cool little tactical stuff to think about there. Lastly, who's moving? Got to move this. This is a beast. So again, I'm going to roll 2 dice. 3 and 3. My goodness, I'm rolling doubles. Now we can see here, this says it should move this way and then this way. But looking, that would be if there was a hex there. So it would try to move here. It can't, because that's the edge of the arena. So this guy doesn't move this turn. But now we have to attack. So that was the movement. Now we have to attack. And this guy, they all have to be within range of 1. So they all have to be next to somebody to actually do their basic attack. So this criminal can't attack, but this beast, unfortunately, can. Bum deal. But first of all, let's see. I want to just see if this guy is going to actually move at me. So I'm going to roll. Again, we were looking at Mask and Strict. We don't want it to do it. Thank goodness. So on a 1 to 5, it would do a basic attack, but it doesn't have anybody next to it, so it can't. So it stays put. Now we have to roll for this guy. Combat lock. And what that means is whenever this beast is next to one of my guys, it locks them and they can't move. So the beast is no longer going to move, and neither is whoever it's locked up with. It's adjacent to it. So we got to roll a black, blue, and a yellow. And that is the damage it's going to try to inflict on my inactive hero. Way to go after somebody who's like sleeping, taking a nap, for crying out loud. Here goes. Beasts don't care. They're just hungry. So 2 hits. Now I have a choice here. I could either take that and have my defender here intercept it and take 2 damage, or I could let my champion get hit. That'll wake up my champion, and then we could actually use the champion. But I don't want to do that, because I'm not going to get any health back, really, throughout all 3 waves. And so I need to keep my champion. If it was just 1 hit, I'd think about it. But it was 2. I'm going to use my defender ability to soak up that damage and let my champion, get a little bit more rest. Now, that was the attack phase of the bad guys. Now it's back to me. So, does any of the crowd favor move? Nope, no crowd favor yet. Nobody's died. Nothing's going on here. Nothing exciting. So we go to unit deployment. What do I want to deploy here? So let's see here. I need to take out that kitty cat. Am I right? I'm right. So we're going to take this guy because it's got initiative. So it can move right away. And initiative actually says over here, unit can move the same turn it is deployed. So can't really attack the same turn it is deployed, but it can move. And it has strategic attack. Its innate is strategic attack, which means all friendly adjacent units gain an additional yellow die to use with their basic attack this turn. Well, that's nice. So what I could do is pop you out, give you 2 health. So we'll go ahead and put, and then we've got this, but again, that hamstring's not going to do us too much good. We could hamstring this champion, but what we'd have to look at there is the tactic ability range, and that's this last number on the bottom. So I could throw this tactic out 3 spaces away from this tactician, but only 2 spaces away from this archer. So this archer couldn't quite hamstring that guy. The tactician can't quite either, but I can move the tactician. Unfortunately, as soon as you move into the move phase, you no longer can throw out tactics, because it's deploy and tactics is together. So as soon as I move the move, I can't go back to deploy those tactics. So anyway, back to this. I've deployed you. Now it is time to move. Well, I don't really need to move this guy yet. So 1 hit, no roll. Yeah, I don't think I can move him and use his hit on there, but I'm not positive. Maybe I could quickly check that out. Yep, turns out I was right. I can't attack with him. So we're just going to leave this as is. Now it's attack time. So we can go ahead and use, however, strategic attack here, which is going to bolster my archer's attack. And now it's going to roll with not a black and yellow die, but a black, a yellow, and another yellow die. And we want to go after this guy right here. I could also, nope, there's no reason for me to go after him with 1 yellow die. Go after this guy with all of our good stuff. We could still only potentially hit him for 30, and that's it. But let's see what we get. Ooh, 2 hits. Not bad, not bad. And so almost threw out 3 there. So that takes him down. But still going to hit me. No one else can attack. Yep, I left him there. His alternate attack is reposition, is just move, just kind of keep moving 1 space at a time. But I'm just going to leave him back there kind of for options. Let's go straight over to the arena phase, which is the bad guys. They don't have to deploy because they've got everything they can do this particular wave. Move phase, here we go. Let's see, it's not going to move, combat lock. Could potentially move. If it does, I'm going to hamstring you for sure. Let's see. Yep, going to move. I could go here or I could go here. Each one's same distance towards my guy. I'm going to move him here. A little strategy involved so I can use with a range of 2 for tactics. Now I can hamstring this guy next turn. So prepare to be hamstringed. You just wait, sir. Now let's go up and see what our guy here is going to do. Is he going to move? Oh, wait, that's the beast. So beast's got to roll both these. 4 and 3. So looking at our key, it's going to go first. It's going to move this way and then this way. So that equates to this. And then can't move that direction because there's no place to go. So it just moves the 1 spot there this time. Now we got to see if it's going to do its constrict attack or mass constrict. 5. Nope, needed a 6 to do that. Phew. So we're not going to try to clump up our guys in this particular game because it would pop next to the most adjacent. And so we're going to try and keep everybody kind of singled out a little bit. I'll see if that strategy works. Anyway, no attack from the big boss. No attack from the champion, but this arena beast does get to attack again. Again with the black, blue, and yellow die. Here we go. Ooh, just 1 hit though. Remember I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to let my champion take that damage, which awakens the beast within. And now I can start using, starting next round, my champion along with my other guys here. As you shall see, instead of waiting for the crowd favor to go up, I just activated my champion in that fashion, which again isn't a little strategy decision. Was it a good idea? I don't know. Maybe. Hopefully. I'm hoping so. 1 damage, not too bad to wake up my champion. For now, let's just keep it at that. And stick with me. I will probably do another video and at least complete 1 wave so you can really see what it's all about. But until next time, I do appreciate you watching. Thanks for hanging with me. And until next time, I'm boardgamerants, and I'm out.